What's up, Arrow? What up, though?
What up, Arrow? I love your
I
name.
love
I
your
know,
name.
right?
My God. I mean, we should go on tour
Thank
with the
you.
best names.
We should.
I guess I'll just be the promoter because I have the most basic name of
Yeah,
everybody.
but you took the H out, John. So you kind
Yeah.
of you kind of made it sexy.
I, I, I
Technically, I'm not Joe, right?
I actually thought when I first bumped into your name, I thought, oh, what happens if his name is Jan? And because, I mean, I was like, man, it could be John, it could be Jan. So I'm going to have to really pay attention.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Nah, it's short for Jonathan. I just felt like Jonathan's like a long name. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna cut that down.
I've experienced the first 3 episodes of DIARRA in Detroit. And the thing is that I
It's
love
tiara.
it. I was saying it
It's
right
tiara.
then.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you were. It's like tiara, but with a D.
You as a writer, you waste absolutely no time getting to the story and setting up those characters. I mean, it's not one of those where you have to wade through 1 or 2 episodes to know what's going on. You're right on it.
Thank you. I appreciate that because a lot of times people do say that to me. I'm like, I watched the show and I couldn't really get into it. And they'll be like, you have to get to episode 4 or 5 and then it really gets good. And I really didn't want to do that. I was hoping that people came away from the pilot feeling like they had to watch all 8.
John, what was it like for you to fit into this role? Because I mean, this role is, it's really so captivating because it's so real, but at the same time, there's a mystery behind it.
Yeah, that's the fun part. DR really created a full-fledged human being that I get to, bring to life, and I'm just excited to show the multifaceted side of danger, the black man, and it's like I'm a thug with a therapist, so it's like, you get to see both, and he's somebody that is, like I said, from the streets, but he's also a protector. He's like a Renaissance dude, so it's fun to be able to show all those facets of a black man, because so many times we are only seeing one side of us.
Yeah.
So we want to be hugged, you know what I'm saying? We want to be loved too.
You know what's great about this show is the fact that the body language has a voice of its own. The way that the cameras zoom in on the body language, because so much can be said before something is said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's so astute that you picked up on that. And we have a lot of people who come from the theater. John and I come from the theater. Felicia comes from the theater, and we like to act H to T, head to toe, as they say. Sometimes, for the camera, they tell you to be really still and you don't really move that much. But I think we're all pretty physical in our approach.
And what's authentic about the storyline is the fact that the emotions that are shared, because even though you might go into a dark area, there's going to be something on the other side for the viewer, and it's usually a little funny line, and it's like, whoa, wait a second, did they really say that? And that's what I love about BET Plus, is that it's going to give us the opportunity to kind of go back a little bit and listen to it again.
Yeah, it's true. And you know what? That's really inspired by the people of Detroit, to be honest. I think a lot of people think of Detroit as being a tough place, an aggressive place that has a masculine energy. And a lot of that is true. But what I found growing up there is that there's a real sense of humor to the people. Like I always say, we're just kind of, is it too early to say damn? We're just kind of damn fools. You know what I mean? And in any situation, it's never too soon. It's never too soon to crack a little joke. Middle school, a Detroit public middle school could be a dangerous place. Everybody has a joke, to crack on you. And I just find that sense of humor is something that is really important to our resiliency. And I wanted to highlight that as well, and not just some of the more darker parts of the city.
The music inside this series is very, very incredible as well, because I talk with a lot of musicians from the Detroit area, especially the hip hop scene. My God, I just wish it would break out even more, because it's really into it.
Well, we're repping them hard in the show. We have Cash Doll who's actually acts in the show, have her music in the show. Same with Icewear. I think we have 2 or 3 of his tracks. Paris Noel. We have a bunch of up and coming and emerging Detroit musicians, R&B and hip hop. And I'm so proud to showcase their work and their talent.
John, don't you like the way that the storyline is around real people and it isn't big people up in gigantic offices or superheroes and things? That it's real. I mean, it's a teacher with her friends and her community. It's like, what? This is real stuff.
That's what I believe is going to pull the audience in. You know, they're going to be able to see themselves in these characters. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to step outside of yourself into an imaginary world. You can literally just step into our world and see yourself walking right alongside any one of these characters. And that's the beautiful part about what DIARRA and the team created, is that they made us relatable, you know what I'm saying? So that way you can take this journey with us, and because she's going on a ride, you know what I'm saying? She's taking her friends down this rabbit hole with her, but, you know, the audience is another character in this story. You know, so you're going to be watching the show, talking to DIARRA, telling her, like, you know, like, what you doing? Like, come on. So, and I think that's the beautiful part about these characters is, like I said, you know, you can see yourselves in them.
And you take on a real subject such as ghosting, and it's like, this isn't going to happen to me. I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, I find the whole ghosting thing pretty fascinating. And, you know, I'm married to like my college sweetheart. So I haven't been out here in these streets being ghosted, but a lot of my girlfriends have. Yep. And they talk to me about it. And so I'm able to take their pain and turn it into something beautiful, which I hope is kind of wish fulfillment for a lot of women, because they have often wanted to get to the bottom of what happened to this guy, men and women. There's equal opportunity to be a ghoster out here in these days. But I'm hoping that people will feel that wish fulfillment of like being able to travel with DIARRA to get to the bottom of what happened to this guy. John,
how do you react when you look at the script and you know that there's going to be a line that's going to be touching people? Because one of my favorite lines in this storyline is, "You aren't going anywhere until you get justice." Put that on a T-shirt and sell it. My God.
Oh, there's a lot of little one-liners that you're going to be walking away from. You know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful part of storytelling, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's also a thing that's going to be captivating for the audiences, because you're going to walk away and you'll hear something, and then you might come back around to it later on and be like, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? Those are like little tricks and, you know, jewels of storytelling, is that you get to hit people with it, but not smack them over the face with it. You know what I'm saying? You can drop something on them without like feel like you're beating them over the head or trying to teach them something, you know, allow them. The audience is smart. They'll pick it up.
I'm glad that you made this a series and not a movie, because you're taking your time. You're giving us a pace, an area to breathe.
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of people have asked that actually, like, what happens when she solves the case? And I do see this first season as the origin story of a private detective. Mm-hmm. I grew up watching Murder, She Wrote, you know, with my grandmother curled up next to her. And I really did want to see, you know, that for a new generation, you know, make it sexy. I don't know that Jessica Fletcher was getting any between solving those crimes. So I feel like it's a nice sort of just growing up of those kind of amateur detective series that we grew up loving and that we have a lot of nostalgia for.
I love it. You got to come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open.
Well, we'd love to, Arrow.
You be brilliant today, okay?
Okay, you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. You too.